पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Welcome for our discussions on Bhagavadgita, the first 6 chapters, which is the first unit of Bhagavadgita under this Bhakti Shastri course. So we have so far completed the introduction and we started the first chapter of Bhagavadgita in the last session. In my remembrance, we completed up till 3 shlokas. Can someone confirm?
Yes, Prabhuji.
3 shlokas. Okay. So we will take it ahead today. Before we start, let's offer prayers, Mangalacharana to Guru Parampara and the Supreme Lord Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sa Agrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Pitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarine. Hare Krishna. Let's offer the prayer to the speaker of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna. Together we will say this. Prapanna Parijataya Totra Viprika Parnaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha. So in the last sitting or session we had, we were discussing the setting or the scene, the events which led to this particular speaking of Bhagavad Gita. So we had discussed the first shloka of the chapter, very, very important shloka. In fact, our acharyas have discussed it so, expansively. The shloka which says about the venue of this meeting, of the battle, Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. While discussing this, we saw the character of Dhritarashtra. Any of you recollect any key words which describe the character of Dhritarashtra from this verse?
Attachment to Rajya, Dhritarashtra.
Oh yes, attachment to the kingdom. Very right. Any other quality? That attachment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Yeah, attachment to the kingdom, and he wanted to enjoy the kingdom in the shield of his sons.
Yes. Yes. Through the sons, he wants to enjoy. Yeah.
He was like a passive villain. Then Duryodhan was an active villain. I remember these words very clearly.
Okay. He's a passive villain. So he is a villain actually. To say Prabhupada will later say in one of the purports, Sanjaya saying this, that this whole battle happened because of Dhritarashtra. If he could have acted properly, it would not have happened. Even if his son wants it to happen, if he had acted properly, this war would not have happened. So, in many ways, Dhritarashtra is the cause of this battle. And we also see, because of that attachment, he also sees someone who is not his son, that is so close as his brother's sons, his nephews. He sees them as competitors for his power, the race to power. So in that sense, we also see the attachment actually breeds, it brings about this vision of this is mine, this is, this is my enemy who is competing to take my possession. So this vision, which is called Prithak Drishti, he sees something as separate, something as Bhinna Drishti. These words are used in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the attachment is the basic underlying thing, the attachment for material happiness. And that leads to this separated vision. They don't see everything as owned by the Supreme Lord. So everything has to be seen in that manner. No, that Ishavasya Drishti, that conception is not there because of that attachment for material happiness. So we saw this. And there was one very interesting example Prabhupada says. I want to remind this example here. Comparing the battlefield to a farm field. Any of you recollect that example?
A paddy field.
Yes. Any of you recollect that example?
Yes, Prabhuji. Like there are weeds in the paddy field, and in this field of like Kuru Dharma Kshetra is a place of religious place where all these weeds, like Dhritarashtra and Dhritarashtra's sons are like weeds in the paddy field. They will be thrown away.
Yeah. So who is doing that? Who is the farmer here? That's important.
Krishna.
Krishna is the expert farmer who is wielding up all that, that weeds. Last time we had seen this example. It's important. Actually, Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan points out this. The subtler meaning of Dharma Kshetra is that the Dharma Sthapaka, in fact, the goal of Dharma, that is Lord Sri Krishna, he wants to remove the weed-like Kauravas from this field, so that there is a very congenial, favorable atmosphere for practice of pure devotional service, ultimately. So that is the very subtler meaning which is explained. And later, when we went to see the further verses, we saw the Duryodhana speaking. So Sanjaya says that Duryodhana goes to his Acharya, Dronacharya. Duryodhana goes to near to the Acharya, and then he speaks. He in fact gives his lecture. So the very words indicate the character of these, the nature of these characters actually. So Duryodhana, some of his very important characters shown here are that he is very diplomatic. He is very, very, what they say as political, in the sense of a negative understanding. Politics in itself is a word. It could be used for right or wrong. But here Duryodhana, he is using these tactics so that he can make his desires accomplished. He can fulfill his desires of happiness or claiming the kingdom. So he goes first to Drona. He speaks to Drona. So though Bhishma is the senior most in the whole Kaurava clan, yet he decides to go to Drona. If he goes to Bhishma, then maybe Drona, who is in a higher ashrama, not ashrama, varna. What is the varna?
Brahmana.
Brahmana. So maybe he will feel insulted because I did not give the respect to the higher varna, Brahmana varna. Oh, but if I go to Drona, though Bhishma is senior by age, he will not mind it because anyway he is a Brahmana. So he goes to Drona first. And in fact, in one of the verses which comes ahead, he takes the name of Drona first while describing his side. He first takes the name Drona, and then Bhishma, and then he lists you. That's the way he does it. So here Duryodhana speaks, telling to Dronacharya. In fact, very interestingly, he reminds Dronacharya of his double quote, his fault, which he had done, his mistake, past mistake. Actually, it is not mistake, but Duryodhana thinks it is a mistake. What is that so-called mistake? What is the mistake, so-called mistake of Drona, which Duryodhana is reminding here in this shloka?
That he gives
Knowledge
knowledge to Drishtadyumna.
Drishtadyumna. Very right. Who is the son of his enemy, and who also is, he is born to kill Drona. That also was known to Drona. So yet he gave knowledge. So do not do like that. Such a leniency will lead to our defeat. That's what Prabhupada also explains in the purport. So Duryodhana pointed out that Dronacharya's earlier mistake, he should not repeat. He should be alert and uncompromising in the fight. Especially because the other side, the Pandavas, are very affectionate to Drona. So that's why he's saying this. So today we will start from mantra 4. Okay. So please repeat after me. Atra Shura Maheshwasa
Atra Sura Maheshwasa
Bhimarjuna Samayudhi
Bhimarjuna
Samayudhi
Yuyudhano Viratascha
Yudhano Viratascha
Drupadascha Maharatha.
Drupadascha Maharatha.
So in the earlier shloka, he spoke to Drona. Now he wants to describe, in fact, he told in general, just see the Pandu sons who are arranged opposite to us, and their army is arranged by your disciple Drishtadyumna. So that was reminded. So one warrior in the Pandava clan is pointed out. Now there are many, many warriors who will this. See, in any act in this world, especially when it comes to war, some things like this, actions like this, one should know what is one's opposition. One should know one's Purva Paksha, it is called. One should know the strengths and also the weaknesses of the opposite side. Like say, suppose, say a simple example, in cricket, they want to know who are the good players in the opposite team, right? Who is the good batsman? What is his weakness? What is his strength? How should I handle him? Is it not? So like that, there is always an evaluation of strength and weakness of the opposition against the strength and weakness of one's own side. With this in knowledge, one should enter the fight. Be it sports or be it a battle also. Be it a war. So like that, here, first, Duryodhana is evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of opposition. So he says, Atra Shura, they are all great warriors. Maheshwasa, they are very good archers. Ishu means the arrow. They are very good archers. They are very good fighters. Primarily, in fact, all of them are very good, but primarily Bhima and Arjuna. Duryodhana especially takes the name of Bhima and Arjuna. He knows that Bhima is so powerful, and he has especially taken some vows just before the battle. It happened actually at that Asat Sabha, where Draupadi Vastraharana was attempted. Any of you know what were the vows which Bhima had taken? Kauravas were all afraid. In fact, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, everyone were so afraid. Bhima took that vow.
to kill all 100 people of Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra.
Say again, Prabhu.
100, you want to kill all 100.
That's the one vow. Yes, he will kill all the sons of Dhritarashtra, all Kauravas. Yeah, in the battle, there were many occasions where other Pandavas could have killed Kauravas. especially the sons of Kuru. But they did not do it because they knew, oh, Bhima is going to die. So whenever that moment came, they waited, and Bhima jumped and came and he killed that Kaurava, and like this, every Kaurava was killed by Bhima, like that. Yeah, that's one vow. Any other vow?
Dusyasana, I mean, he took a vow that he'll drink the blood of Dusyasana, also use that blood to tie the hair of Draupadi.
Yeah. So that's also graphically explained. Yeah, he especially told he will smash the chest, and rip out the heart and the blood, or like that. It's a very ghastly. He took that vow. There is one more vow.
That he'll break the thighs of Duryodhana.
Duryodhana showed his thigh to Draupadi, inviting her to sit, which was very, very uncivilized. So when he saw this, he was pounding his fists in so much anger. At the end, he says this: "I will break that thigh. I will put you to end through breaking your thigh." Like that, he says there. So Bhima is such a powerful warrior. He's really a raw warrior. In terms of raw strength, there is no match to Bhima. And Arjuna, very, very powerful archer. Drona had taught him everything he knew. Arjuna was so qualified in his character. Even he did not teach Ashwatthama some things. Ashwatthama is son of Drona. But Arjuna, though he is not the son, because he's so dedicated to learning, and he's so well-mannered and good character. So Dronacharya gives him everything, every vidya which he knew, all the types of astras, he gives him that knowledge. So in fact, he even got blessings from Shiva, Pashupatastra, from Indra, he got special blessings, many like this. So like this, Arjuna is very, very qualified. So he takes their names, Duryodhana takes their names. And also there are other Pandavas who are very qualified. It's obvious here, he has not taken name. That doesn't mean they are less qualified. They are also very Yudhishthira, Nakula and Sahadeva. And there are some others, Yuyudhana. Yuyudhana is actually a Yadu, is Satyaki, most famously known as Satyaki. In fact, Satyaki is the one who is alive from Pandava's clan. There are very few people who are alive after the whole battle. Satyaki is also. And Virata. Virata is that Matsya Raja, Matsya Desha Raja. During Ajnatavasa, Pandavas had taken shelter of Virata. That thing. And Drupada is the father-in-law of Pandavas. And all of them are Maharathis. So there is a description which comes in Mahabharata, which says that a warrior who kills one fighter or one archer, he's able to easily fight with one archer. He is a Rathi. One who is able to combat or fight with 10,000 archers, he is called Maharathi. One who is able to fight with practically unlimited, but yet to give account 60,000 archers, he is called Atirathi. And someone who cannot even fight with one archer is Ardharathi, or not a good fighter. So what he is saying, these are all Maharathis. So many Maharathis are there, especially in the side of Pandavas. Arjuna was an Atirathi. Bhishma was an Atirathi. So like this, there were very, very great warriors on either sides. So in the Pandava side, there are many Maharathis, like that Duryodhana says. Can someone read the translation? Who is taking the role of reading?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Please read.
Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. Great fighters like Yudhana, Virata, and Drupada.
Prabhupada also says that in this fight, there are each and every one of them are as formidable as Bhima and Arjuna. Especially he remembered the strength of Bhima and Arjuna. So further listing the warriors in the side of Pandavas. Next shloka. Drishtaketushchekitana
Drishtaketushchiketana
Kashirajascha Viryavan
काशीराजवीर्यवान्
Urujut Kunti Bhojascha
Purujit Kunti
Kundi
Bhojascha
Daityascha Narapungava.
Chabhyascha
Narapungava.
So these are the names of the warriors on the side of Pandavas. Read Prabhu translation.
There are also great heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chiketana, Kashi Raja, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and Saibya.
These are all Narapungavas. Narapungava means they are the great people. They are like the leaders, the heroes of human society. Narapungava, like that. So listing few more. The next shloka also says the warriors on the Pandava side. Yudha Manyuscha Vikranta
Vikranta,
Tamaujascha Viryavan
Uttamajascha Viryavan
Saubhadro Draupadeyascha
Saubhadro Draupadiyaścha
Sarva Eva Maharatha.
Sarva Eva Maharatha.
So there are many Maharathis. So many are Maharathis, and the names are taken. Yudha Manyu, Uttamauja, like this. Read the translation.
There are the mighty Yuddhamanyu, the powerful Uttamauju, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters.
So son of Subhadra, very great fighter. Abhimanyu. And there are 5 sons of Draupadi. They are also very good fighters. Unfortunately, they are grievously killed, murdered, in fact. So these are all great charioteers, and they are assembled on the opposite side of us. Now, after describing, if you count, there are so many warriors listed in the Pandava side. Now he wants to say, okay, I have described all these other warriors. This doesn't mean we don't have good fighters on our side. Let me tell who are on my side. So he's telling to Dronacharya, the whole describing the opposite side, and his own side he starts describing. Asmakam tu vishishtaye
Asmakam tu vishashtaye
Tani bodha pijottama
Tani
Vijottama
Nayaka mama sainyasya
Nayaka Sainyasya
Sanyartham tan bravimite.
Sangyam
Asmakam means mine or ours. It's in the Uttama Purusha, first person. So Asmakam. So let me describe the fighters on our side, O Dvijottama, O best of the Brahmanas. So here we can notice that usually Brahmanas don't fight in the battles. Is it not? What is their duty? What is the duty of a Brahmana? Any of you? Kshatriyas fight. It is their duty. But what are the duties of a Brahmana?
Give the knowledge.
Okay, they give knowledge. Anything else?
To guidance, Prabhuji. To guide the
They give
kings.
guidance. Yeah, they give guidance based on that knowledge.
Yes. And
Yeah.
like all the religious activity they have to perform.
They are like the priests.
Yeah.
So they are priests and they are teachers. This is the occupations, or the professions, the varna. So Prabhupada says in one another, actually it's a quotation from Shastra. He says that yajan, they worship the Lord and they help people worship the Lord. They will teach how to worship the Lord. They will do what is called paurohitya, or they will perform as priests. So that is one duty. And then there is pathan. They study scriptures, shastras, and they also teach the shastras. To the extent that they can teach they are good in all fields of knowledge. All fields means different brahmanas are experts in different fields of knowledge. They can teach even military science. They are martial arts, like Dronacharya is, like Kripacharya is. These two are the teachers of military sciences for Pandavas and Kauravas. There are also brahmanas who teach spiritual sciences. They are spiritual teachers. Many rishis, like that. Like especially there is Dhaumya for Pandavas who is acting as a priest. He even travels with Pandavas during the Aranyavasa and many like that. So he's like the priest. So Kshatriyas always had priests with them because they have to perform their duties and they have to worship the Lord before performing their duties. So these priests perform on their behalf. So that's why priests are also traveling along with the kings. So Yajan, Yajan, Pathan, Pathan. And also they lead very simple life. In one sense, they live on charity which is given by others. Dana Pratigraha. So they don't hoard things. They in fact will use whatever is basic necessities for them they keep and they give off. They Pratigraha. So if someone gives dana, they will accept. But usually they will live a very simple life. So this is how Brahmana's life is described. But here you will see this Brahmana who is Drona. We're talking about Drona, best of Drona Brahmanas. That's the word. He's taking the role of fighting. So how is it that a Brahmana is fighting here? That's a question which may come. So the point is, he is. It's described by our teachers earlier, acharyas, that Drona, though he's a Brahmana, but he has taken up the role of being a teacher for the king. And because he is participating in the battle, he is considered as an inferior quality of Brahmana. So he has to be seen as a Kshatriya only in this battle. So there is no sin of killing a Brahmana, though Drona is a Brahmana, because he has come in the role of a Kshatriya in this battle. You're getting, so Brahmana should never be harmed. It's considered a great papa, Brahma Hatya, it's told. But here, because he himself has taken the role of a fighter, so he has to be seen as a Kshatriya only in that sense. So here there is description of the fighters on the side of Kaurava's side. So Nayaka Mama Sainyasya. Read the translation, Prabhu.
But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are specially qualified to lead my military force.
So he's going to list all his Nayakas, captain.
There
is a very specific sequence of listing, and there are very choice names put in the shloka by Duryodhana. A very specific reason is there behind each of those words. He's taking the names of people for a very specific reason. He's calculating something. Oh, if I forget this person's name, maybe this will happen. That's why I should take his name. I should take this person's name first, and this person's name come second. So Duryodhana is so thoughtful. He's so calculative. You can see that extreme ability of worldly manipulation, which comes in this. Yeah. Anyone had any comments? Someone was speaking.
Prabhuji, one question, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yes.
Prabhuji, generally Brahmins don't actually learn the military sciences, right? So generally they are doing some kinds of homas and some other activities related to God. But how come Drona learn this?
In a traditional setting of Gurukula, the teacher, he teaches what is called the basic sciences. There is a teaching of the basic truths of life for first few years. There's a training of the basic spiritual knowledge, which is given for everyone, up till some 7, 8, or 9 years like that. There is a teaching of spiritual knowledge. There is teaching of basic ethics called Niti, Dharma Shastras, Niti Shastras, and also Paramartha, that is Adhyatma, is also taught. And then seeing the specific nature of the student, the teacher, who is a Brahmana, he notices the Guru and Guru Patni together, they understand. So they can identify, oh, this boy, he has a tendency or inclination to be a fighter. This boy has an inclination to be a Vaishya, that is, he can do good trade, agriculture and all. So then there is a training which is called vocational training, a very specific training for their future life, especially with respect to Varna. So that's also taught by Brahmana. It's not that Brahmana is only restricted to teaching spiritual sciences. Brahmana, basic understanding of Brahmana is a teacher. You can even see someone like Shukracharya, who is on the side of whose side?
Demons.
Sorry?
The demons.
Demons. So who is he? Is he Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? What is he?
But Sudra, I think.
He's a Brahmana. He's a Brahmana. So he is considered as a guru for Rakshasas. Like Brihaspati is for Devas, he's for this. So the basic thing is there is a qualities of Brahmanas which Krishna will describe in 18th chapter. Satya, Shama, Tapas, Shauchas, like that it goes. Satya, Shanti, Ahimsa, Shanti, like that. In 18th chapter it comes, I am forgetting. Brahma Karma Swabhavacham, like that it goes. So basic thing is Astikya. He has faith in Vedas, he teaches Vedas. That is one very important thing. So Vedas describe all types of knowledge. So Shastra Vidya, Shastra Vidya, all that he teaches. He is capable. Not every Brahmana is, but some Brahmanas can teach. Like Agastya, it's told he was a very good teacher of military sciences and also spiritual sciences. There was, of course, here you can see Drona. He's primarily a military teacher, but he also taught. Kripacharya, he's also military teacher.
Prabhuji, can you understand like this? Like Brahmana by birth is Brahman and by nature is Kshatriya. Is it not like that?
By birth doesn't really determine, unless he himself has that quality. So he is a teacher. So he is teaching, doesn't mean he will do it. Like, he can teach the sciences, the principles, which are important for being a Kshatriya. He will teach some astras and all that. Like in Ramayana, you will hear he is providing to Lord Rama. No? What is that?
Sure.
Is it not? he's giving Bala, Ati Bala, and all different. Even later, Agastya comes and gives that Agastya, Hridaya, something like that. There are many. So similarly, he can teach the principles of trade, of agriculture, all these principles. But he himself will not do it. So what he will do for his livelihood? Dana Pratigraha. So he is a teacher, and whatever people offer him as a donation or charity, especially, that he accepts. So, but when one takes up, so he being of a higher varna, on some special occasions, which is called apat dharma, he can take up the profession or activities of a lower varnas. Very rare, like you will see this very great avatara who born as Brahmana, son of a great rishi, but he became fierce warrior. Who is that?
Parashuram.
So it is possible. Now, there are occasions we can see in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sometimes Brahmanas, it's told actually. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, last part, where Narada is describing the roles. There are chapters like this: ideal society, ideal family life. There are chapters. If you want to understand very specifically the duties of each of the varna and what are those special situations wherein there could be someone of one varna taking up the role or activities of other varna, what are they? All that is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Is that okay?
Yeah, bro.
So yeah, so he has to be seen as a Kshatriya in this because he is fighting.
Prabhuji, one more question. What is the Dyojatam means?
What is the?
Dvyojotam means the word is
Dvijottama. Yeah. Dvija means actually Brahmana. Actually, Dvija could mean to Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, all three of them. Dvija basically means one who is given basically a mantra by Guru. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, all three varnas could be given mantras by Guru. So all are Dvijas. They are purified, like the word says, samskarat bhavet dvijaha. So one could be born as any specific varna, in a family of, say, suppose Shudras. That the shloka says, Janmana jayate Shudra. By Janma, one is a Shudra, especially in Kali Yuga, people are predominantly Shudras. But does that mean that one can forgo, one doesn't improve? No, then it says samskarat bhavet dvijaha. So by samskaras, one who undergo the samskaras, especially the diksha from a guru. So in ISKCON, we have this mantra diksha, which is called second initiation. That's when a dvija is Brahmana dvija. So by that is primarily for vigraha seva, deity services. So they are dvijas. If you see, by their profession, they could be doing Brahmana varna, Kshatriya varna, Vaishya varna, but they are have undergone the samskaras, especially the diksha, and there are further samskaras. Then it goes ahead. Samskarat bhaved dvijaha veda pathanat vipra. So one who does study Vedas, actually after that one should take up to study of Shastras. Then he is called a vipra. So like that, there is a progression in how a human, especially after taking human birth, he should progress.
So it is not about the Brahman only.
No,
okay.
It is not specifically to Brahman. But why I referred here, usually Dvija is referred to as Brahman.
By birth Brahman and by sanskara also Brahman.
By samskara Brahmana. Actually the Dvija, it could mean to that samskara, it could be given to Brahmana who are born in a Brahmana family, Kshatriya family, or Vaishya. Okay. That's in general. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Prabhu, this sloka you quoted, right, Prabhu? Janmana jayate Shudraha. From where it is quoted, Prabhu? Is it in Vedas or is it in Bhagavadgita?
I will refer it because Prabhupada tells in many lectures. I will refer it and I will tell you. I will note it. I will tell you.
Thank you. Right.
Where it comes.
Dvija is Dvijabandhu, which is mentioned in Ishopan's purport.
Dvija is what?
Dvijabandhu. There is also the previous Ishopanishad chapter. There is a purport. They said who is Mayas are for Dvijabandhus. The Vedas were.
Dvijabandhu is someone who is born in the family of Dvijas, but he has not undergone that culture or qualities. He doesn't have the necessary qualities.
Okay.
So he is referred as a bandhu to the Dvija. He's not really called Dvija because he doesn't have quality. In some places in Srimad Bhagavatam, Ashwatthama is called like Brahma Bandhu. He's born in Brahmana family, but he doesn't have that quality of being a Brahmana. There is one chapter where in Bhagavatam where Arjuna catches Ashwatthama. Any of you are aware? In the very first canto. They're very nice thing, very nice. Krishna does he gives both sides, and he expects Arjuna to please both the sides. You should actually punish Ashwatthama. At the same time, people are saying, oh, he is a Brahmana, he should not be killed, he will get Brahmahatya. But these people are telling, no, he's Brahma Bandhu, he doesn't have any qualities. Just see what he has done. He has killed those sleeping sons. He has left Brahmastra not even understanding what will be the consequence. He's so driven by passion and attachment. So he's not a Brahmana, kill him. He's a Brahma Bandhu, like that the word is. On the other side, they're telling, no, he's a Brahmana, he's son of your guru, you should not kill. So there is evaluation of his character based on it. So Brahma Bandhu basically means the word Bandhu is used for someone who is by birth of that varna, but he doesn't have that qualities.
Okay. Prabhu.
Yeah. So that's
The verse you were mentioning, Prabhu, that is from Skanda Purana.
how you found it.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Prabhupada tells in many lectures. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Very good. So let's go ahead. So we are in text number 8. So now he lists the warriors in his side. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha
Bhavam
Bhishmascha
Karna
Kripascha Samitim Jaya
Krupascha Kuntin Jayaha
Ashwathama Vikarnascha
Ashwathama Vikarnascha
Saumadattis Tathaivacha.
Saumadatishthathaivacha.
So Bhavan means yourself, and very honorably addressing the one who is in front. Bhavan, it's in second person, you know. So yourself, he tells the name of Drona the first. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
Many
Hare
Prabhu.
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Burisrava, who are always victorious in battle. Hare Krishna.
Always victorious. So first he takes the name of Drona. Why he takes that, I already mentioned. Any of you?
Because Prabhuji, he is very, he want to take the name first, who is more eligible or more powerful, more respectful.
In the Vedic,
Because he's a Brahmin, Prabhuji.
in the Vedic society hierarchy, Brahmana is the higher. So that's why he takes his name, though he is younger to Bhishma. Then comes many after Brahmana, there are all Kshatriyas, you know. So among them, the senior most Bhishma. Then comes Karna. Very interesting. Is Karna there? Is Karna there in the battlefield? Any of you?
No, Prabhuji.
No, he's not there. But he's remembering, you know, he's saying, yeah, Karna is an important person. He's going to come. He's going to come after Bhishma falls. But nonetheless, he's in our side. He's calculating. He's holding him in counts. Huh? Then Kripa. Kripa is actually related to Drona only. Drona's wife is Kripi. Her brother is Kripa. Ashwathama, son of Drona. Then son of Somadatta, Purishrava. Somadatta himself also. These are all very, very powerful warriors, actually. Sorry. And very interestingly, he takes the name of Vikarna. So Vikarna, very interesting. Vikarna is one of the Kaurava, but he is not a very big warrior as such. You know, he's not a powerful warrior. But there is one reason for which he takes the name, because Vikarna was the only Kaurava who opposed. He said against Duryodhana when Draupadi Vastraharana was happening. He stood, no, this is not right, this is not proper, this is not dharma. So he told. And in fact, Duryodhana was insecure. He was feeling insecure that maybe Vikarna may change the sides. So he wanted to hold him in his side. So he took the name so that he's counted, he's important. Hum gin rahe aapko, aapke hamare side mein. So we are counted. So he wanted to hold him. Actually, what happens after the battle is declared, both the sides are, arranged. Then there is, in fact, Yudhishthira does this. He tells, this is the time the Shastras also say, if someone wants to exchange the sides, one can. But after this, it is not allowed. So Yudhishthira says this. So Duryodhana knows this. Yeah, this is allowed by Shastra. So I want to hold those people who have come as my people. So that with that thought in mind, though Vikarna is not a very powerful person, so he counts him and then he takes his name here. So Prabhupada says that how Duryodhana was very, very calculative. He also tells a little about each of the characters. And then he says, in general, there are so many people. If you see the names taken, there are few names only taken compared to the names taken on the Pandavas side. Bhishma is super excellent warrior. There is no match to him. Drona is also excellent. These two are very, very great warriors. But after that, there are some names taken. But if you see, the other side's names are more in Duryodhana's words. So telling in general, who are all in general there on his side, he says the next shloka. Anye cha bahava shura.
Anye cha bahasura
Madarthe tyakta jivita.
madarthe jivita
Nana shastra praharana.
nana
Sarve yuddha visharada. So Anyecha, there are many people, Bahavaha. They are all Shuras. Those people who are on my side, they are all Shuras. I request devotees, if you want to speak, you can surely raise hand and speak, or unmute and speak. But other times you can keep mute. Anyecha Bahava Shura. All the other people are great warriors. And in fact, very interestingly, Madarte Tyakta Jivita. Just for my purpose, they are ready to lay down their life. They are ready to sacrifice their life for my purpose. They are so loyal to me. Nana Shastra Praharana. Praharana. Praharana means expert. One name of Srimati Radharani is also Praharana. So Praharana means expert. These are expert in what? Nana Shastra Praharana. They are expert in many varieties of fighting. Sarve Yuddha Visharada. Especially in battle, military sciences, they are very experienced too. Please read translation, Mataji. Who was reading? Please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Hare Krishna.
In fact, our acharyas, they very sarcastically say, yeah, all these people, they have come here to lay down their lives. In fact, they will die because of you. They have come, they are ready to even die for you, and they really died because of you. So like that also our acharyas explain. Because practically the whole Kauravas are, all of them are practically killed. They got defeated fully. So after telling both the sides warriors, now he wants to do a comparison, comparison between both the sides. Aparyaptam tadasmakam.
Aparyaptam
Yaptam tadasmakam
Balam bhishma bhirakshitam.
Balam bhishma abhirakshitam.
Paryaptam tu idam etesham.
Paryaptam idam etesham.
Balam bhima bhirakshitam.
Balam bhima abhirakshitam.
So he says, my side, which is protected by Bhishma, asmakam Bhishma bhirakshitam. Our side, which is protected by Bhishma's balam, it is aparyaptam. What's the meaning of aparyaptam given? Can someone see? What
Immeasurable.
Immeasurable.
Immeasure. Paryapta means it's measure. Like sometimes there is a word paryanta. I don't know, you use this word in Telugu? Not sure. In Maharashtra they use paryanta, means to say something limit. Te paryant, like that they say. Till
Adi Paryantam, they will use that word, Prabhuji, in Telugu, Adi Paryantam.
Adi Paryanta. Paryanta means actually to say limit. So aparyapta means unlimited, immeasurable. Our power, our side, which is protected by Bhishma, is the power, is the strength is immeasurable. Balam aparyaptam. And other side, idam etesham bhima bhirakshitam. Other side is protected by Bhima. Actually, Duryodhana considers Bhima as the foremost in the other side. Though there is Arjuna, Yudhishthira, and many others, but yet he considers Bhima because he is his arch enemy. So he says paryaptam. It is limited. It is not much in compared to our sign. Yeah. Please read the translation. Our strength
is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Hare Krishna.
Now, very interestingly, see, in Sanskrit, this is the richness of the language here. One word can have multiple meanings, especially in a language like Sanskrit. This comes many times. So, paryaptam, another meaning of paryaptam, which our acharyas describe, is also sufficient. So, aparyaptam means
Insufficient.
Insufficient. It is not sufficient, though it is protected by Bhishma. Our side is not sufficient. See, this is it's called Saraswata Artha. What it means is Saraswati, who is the faithful devotee of Lord Krishna, sometimes lets even enemies to use words which can have meanings favoring devotional service also. Like, the very famous shloka comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Kamsa, or even Indra, that's a better example. Indra, he in the Govardhan Leela very beginning, Indra says Krishna, he describes Krishna. You know how he describes Krishna? Any of you? He describes Krishna. Oh, this small boy, he is, he's tabdha, he is, he doesn't have, he's obstinate, he's playful, like this he uses words. But the same words are given another meaning by our acharyas, especially because favored by Saraswati Devi. So that meanings actually are highlighting devotional qualities or the positive qualities of Supreme Lord. Actually, all qualities of Lord are positive. In fact, they glorify Supreme Lord. So similarly, here, aparyaptam, if you take the other meaning, what it means? What does that mean? The first two lines? Any of you?
That our side power is not sufficient in comparison to Pandavas.
Pandavas, they are very sufficient. Why is that sufficiency coming in the other side? Though Bhishma is there on the other side, no.
Because Krishna was on the other side.
That's the meaning. See, this is the special understanding we can get when we follow the acharyas. So both the meanings are there. First meaning of aparyaptam is immeasurable, which Prabhupada has given. Another meaning, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains aparyaptam means, what is it? I just now mentioned. Aparyaptam.
Insufficient.
So both are explained. So one more shloka he says, comparing both the sides. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu.
Ayaneshu cha sarveshu.
Yatha bhagam avastita. Bhishmam eva bhirakshantu.
Bhishma eva abhirakshantu.
Bhavantah sarva eva hi.
Bhavantah sarva eva hi.
So the first meaning, if taken, our Bhishma is so powerful, his power is so immeasurable that easily we will win over. That's the meaning, right? So at the same time, Duryodhana, he doesn't want to let other people feel, that means we are not required, we are not counted, we don't need to be here, we don't have any contribution here. So that they don't feel neglected. So he uses certain words here in this shloka. He says, though Bhishma is very powerful, sarveshu, you should do your duty. You should stay at your prescribed positions in the fight and protect Bhishma, because he's old, and when he's engaged in the fight, the enemy may take advantage and may attack from other side. So you should all guard Bhishma, protect Bhishma, and you should fight to your full abilities. You are also very, very important. Please read the translation, Mataji, all of you. Read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Translation: all of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Hare Krishna.
So Prabhupada says here, see, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, he further considered that others might think they are less important. So in his usual diplomatic way, he is saying, oh, you're all very important. So he's trying to adjust that. He's an old man. You should also protect Bhishma like that. Can you read this highlighted part, Prabhu? Duryodhana clearly felt from here. Please read, any of you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishmadeva. He was confident of the full support of Bhishmadeva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice, while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up as they had done during the gambling performances.
So he knows, yeah, Bhishma and Drona, they were there. Their loyalty was checked during that gambling match. They did not go towards the Pandavas. They did not say against my actions. So that means in this battle also they will be there with me. So that's the calculation of Duryodhana. So Prabhupada explains that here. Though the two generals have affection for Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up as they had done during gambling performance. Actually, there are many reasons for why these different people who are very virtuous. In fact, Bhishma is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. If you see Srimad Bhagavatam, the real character of Bhishma comes out actually, which is so many times misunderstood. So there are many reasons for people like Bhishma to be fighting against the devotees, Pandavas. Bhishma, just to give a very brief understanding here, though he is a very great ardent devotee of Lord, very faithful follower of Shastras, Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, all that, yet he wanted to follow this will of the Lord. He wanted to teach to the world. Actually, Lord wanted to give this lesson to the world, that even a person so powerful like Bhishma, if he sides with adharma, he will also have to perish. He will also be destroyed. Ultimately, what sustains or what becomes victorious is dharma. To give this lesson for the people in general, Lord Krishna, he desired Bhishma to fight on the other side. There is a very great conversation which happens just before the battle between Krishna and Bhishma. In that conversation, this comes out. Another very confidential reason which Srimad Bhagavatam describes is that Bhishma he is a very confidential devotee of the Lord, very intimate devotee of the Lord. Lord desired to fight, and who could fulfill the desire of Lord more than the devotees? So for this, the devotee was ready to even take the role of an opponent to please the Lord. So the rasa of Bhishma with the Lord is told as Virya rasa. This is one of the rasas. Like there was also a very confidential reason for the descent of Jaya and Vijaya. You know, this past time incident, Jaya and Vijaya, they are cursed. Who curses them? Any of you know this?
Four Kumaras.
Four Kumaras, yeah. And externally, it looked like, yeah, they committed an offense to the Brahmanas. That is the four Kumaras. And they got, the reaction as curse. But internal reason, another internal reason is that it was desire of the Lord. And to fulfill that desire of the Lord, Jaya and Vijaya were ready to come as enemies. Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. Lord wanted to fight, and he liked the fight with Hiranyaksha. Srimad Bhagavatam describes Varaha he very much relished the fight with Hiranyakashipu. Yeah, because of Hiranyakashipu, the amazing character of this great devotee Prahalad comes out. Is it not? Lord loves Prahalad so much. And later Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and later Shishupala and Dantavakra. These are all personalities. Actually, originally they are devotees because they come for a very specific reason. So Bhishma also has a very confidential exchange or a relationship with the father. So this is how it has to be seen. And when it comes to Drona, there are many reasons. One of them is that he was attached to his son, and in that sense, he took the role of an inferior Brahmana, that is to fight the side of Kauravas. That's also another reason which is explained. So they were not inimical or envious of Pandavas per se, but they were there opposite to Pandavas. Like that. Is that clear? Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Prabhuji.
So far, what we saw is the first section of the first chapter. In this first 13 verses, in fact, 11 verses are mainly, which describe the preparations for the war. The preparations for the war, in which Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya, and then Duryodhana started speaking to Drona, that is cited by Sanjaya, and there is calculation of each other's side, who is more powerful, what is the strength of the other side, my side, all that. Evaluation has happened. So now, after all this, which is happening in the battlefield, Bhishma, who is the commander of the Kauravas army, he starts to put an end to this just empty talk, superficial talk, bragging talk, So he wants to put a stop. He says, oh, whatever you evaluate as the strength and weakness, ultimately it is the Supreme Lord who gives the victory. We only can perform our duties. So because I am standing on your side, I will fight, but doesn't mean that you will be guaranteed the victory. Who is thinking like this? Who is thinking?
Bhishma.
Bhishma is thinking. Very good. So Bhishma is thinking all this. And then he says, okay, let me now blow the conch shell. Enough is enough. Let me do my duty and go back to the Supreme Lord. He says this shloka. In fact, he blows the conch shell. So this shloka is told by Vyasa in the Bhagavadgita. Tasya sanjanayan harsham.
Tasya
Sanjan Harsham.
Guru Vriddha Pitamaha.
Guru Vriddha
Pitamaha.
Simhanadam Vinatyochai.
Simhanadam Vinodusche.
Shankham Dadmo Pratapavan.
Sankham Dadamo Pratapavan.
So to please, in one sense, to please Duryodhana, Tasya Sanjanayan Harsham, but yet the internal, as I just now told, he was more worried about doing his duty and yet be dependent on the Lord. So the Pitamaha, that's the name used for Bhishma, he did Simhanadam, he blew the Shankha. So please read the translation. One devotee can take up till the time we change. Please take up. Yeah.
Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Hare Krishna.
But interestingly, our acharyas explain, he blew Shankha. There is a very specific meaning which comes here. Shankha is the symbol of Lord Vishnu. There is one name of Lord which is Shankhi. Shankhi, Chakri. You remember this? This comes in that, I think Suprabhat or Vishnu Sahasra. Shankhi, Chakri, like that. So he's called Shankha. Shankha is his weapon. He always carries it. In fact, Lord carries Shankha for many, many reasons. Of course, it is auspicious, Shankha. So he carries Shankha and Padma to give blessings to the devotee. Shankha is also symbol of pure intelligence. Shweta Shankha. It's a Vimalendu Shankha. That's the description which comes in. It's a pure, no mala. Like one who worships me, he will actually be of pure intelligence. And Lord also carries Padma. Padma means lotus. So he blesses the devotee. And there are also other two. What are other things which Lord carries, Vishnu carries?
Gada,
Shankha, Padma, Gada, and
Chakra.
Chakra. They are to give protection to the devotees, give assurance. Oh, no one can harm you. I fully protect. I fully take the responsibility of my devotees' protection. So Lord bestows auspiciousness. Lord also gives protection. So Shankha is a symbol of Lord Vishnu. So our acharyas explain when Vyasa is saying this in Mahabharata, he indirectly means when Bhishma is blowing Shankha, he is saying, "Are the what I am blowing Shankha, this Shankha is symbol of Lord Vishnu, and that original Lord Vishnu, Adi Narayana, Lord Krishna is standing in the other side. So victory is surely theirs." He is indirectly meaning that. So from the next part, which you will observe here, you will find a lot of signs of victory. You should notice this one by one. You can notice this. So the next part of this chapter is signs of victory. It goes up to 20 shlokas. 20, the number 20. So there are many signs. Sanjaya describes the signs of victory for Pandava army. So the first sign which has come here is he blew Shankha, which is the symbol of Lord Vishnu, and that indicated that Duryodhana did not have any chance. It was clearly Pandavas. Victory was clearly Pandavas. So going ahead, just hearing him blow Shankha, many people started blowing their instruments. Tata Shankascha Bheryascha. Panavanaka Gomukha. Sahasaivavyahanyanta. Sashabdastu mulo bhava. So in the battlefield, there are many instruments played to give that spirit of chivalry, virata. Like there is that famous, in the battles they blow, no? I don't know what you call it. It's very long, it makes that long sound. In Maharashtra, especially, they blow it. In Shivaji Maharaj's the clan, they blow it a lot. So Yuddha Kahale, it's called. I don't know. You use that word? Kahale. To blow that long. So there are many instruments which are played. So just by hearing them, a person becomes really ready. All his, adrenaline, whatever you want to say that, it's really at its height. So he is ready to fight, full of spirit of fighting. So read the translation after.
After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous.
It was so loud. No, it was so much filled with the spirit. Actually, the sounds invoke certain emotions. Sounds of passion. In fact, give the feelings of that passion, lust, anger, greed, envy. These are the feelings which will come. Like, at least I find like that. It could be a general feeling also. When someone hears rock music or thumping music, and then automatically a person's emotion, you go to behave like an animal, is it not? As soon as one hears very pleasing music, very pleasing instruments like flute or like very nice instruments, so one's mind becomes so peaceful. Especially when one hears devotional music, music and all. So then one's emotions are also transcendental, invoking devotion to the heart. So sound is very important. And Vedic culture utilizes that for specific purposes. For a war, there are certain musical instruments. For a marriage, there are certain musical instruments. For a yajna, there are certain musical instruments. For performance for the pleasure of the Lord, for a kirtana or something, there are specific instruments. Prabhupada usually told Mridanga and Kartal, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to the world. They are our primary instruments, especially in kirtana. Like that. So here there are instruments which are used. So after this, there is a lot of signs of victory coming here. One sign had already come. What was that? One sign of victory already came.
Conch. Blowing
Conch.
the conch.
Who blew?
Bhishma.
So how does the conch give victory sign?
Because it's related to the Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu is another side.
So in this shloka there are many. Let's find it. Tatah shvetair hayir yukte.
Tatha sheta hayar yukte.
Mahati syandane stitau.
Mahati syandane stitau.
Madhava Pandavaschaiva.
Madhava Pandavaschaiva.
Divyau Shankau Pradadmatu.
Divyo Shankho Pradadmatu.
So the horses, Shvetair, especially this is describing the chariot or horses of Arjuna. So the horses of Arjuna were specially gifted by a Gandharva Chitraratha. These were very powerful horses. They could go for long. Please kindly mute. You have to say something, please indicate. Otherwise, they will not follow. So, who gave the horses to Arjuna?
Gandharva Chitralekha.
Chitraratha. Chitraratha is the name. So a Gandharva by name Chitraratha had gifted this horses. Then this is Shveta Hayai. Haya means horse actually. They are white horses. And then Mahati Syandane. Syandane means chariot. Correct, no? Yeah, chariot. So the chariot of Arjuna was also very special. Any of you know why special? It was gifted by someone. Very celestial chariot. Huh?
That was Hanuman. On the flag, it was Hanuman.
Hanuman is on the flag.
Indra?
The chariot as such. It is given by Agni. Agni had given the chariot. In fact, it was a very celestial chariot. Not a usually in the battles. Many times it happens that a warrior has to, his chariot is destroyed by the opponent, so he sits on another chariot. Sometimes the charioteer is killed, so he gets another chariot. So many times it happens. If you read the descriptions of Mahabharata, then someone like Duryodhana or especially this Dushasana, their chariots were many times destroyed. But Arjuna's chariot, it was never destroyed. It was a very special chariot. It was given by Agni Deva. Then who is there in that chariot with Arjuna? Madhava. Madhava is the name of Krishna. What's the meaning of Madhava? What's the meaning of Madhava? Any of you? Madhava Visan, Radha Madhava, Jaya Radha Madhava. Ma means mother. There are many meanings for Madhava. One meaning which our acharyas here in this context have explained. Ma means mother. Dhava means the master. Madhava, the master of the original mother. Who is the original mother? Who is the original mother?
Radharani.
Radharani, Lakshmi. No? So he is the husband of goddess of fortune, Madhava. It means like that. So we can see here the word Madhava actually indicates that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is his consort, his servant. So do you expect misfortune to come to a side where Madhava is there? No. Wherever Madhava is there, there is only fortune. That's also an indication. So the second sign of victory is the white horse given by Gandharva. The third one is the celestial chariot, which is given by whom?
Agnidev.
Agnideva. And the Madhava. This is what's the number for the sign of victory?
Fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth.
Madhava. This means that how can there be misfortune where Lord Krishna, who is the husband of goddess of fortune, is there? How could there be misfortune? This is also another indication. And they are going to blow now the Shankha. And their Shankha is described very specially. Divya Shankha. In the description of Bhishma, when he's blowing Shankha, it's not mentioned Divya Shankha. So their Shankha is Divya. Their position is Divya. Divya means transcendental, that who is beyond material rules or laws. Divya. Janma karma chame. What is that verse? Janma karma chame divyam. There that word comes. Like that. So Divya Shankha, it's described. So this is another sign. So all this have to be Mataji, could you keep checking if someone mistakenly?
Guruji, I'm trying.
Yeah. Thank you. So someone else can take up the reading of translation here, please. Yeah, take the. Yeah.
On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by the white horses, pondered their transcendental conscience.
So Prabhupada, especially in the purport, he mentions about Krishna and Arjuna's conscience are told as Divya, transcendental. That itself shows they are very special. And in fact, he goes on to tell that famous quote, Jayastu Panduputranam Yesham Pakshe Janardana. Wherever Janardana is there, their Jaya is surely there. It's a famous saying. Prabhupada says that many times. So, because Krishna, who is Madhava, who is the husband of goddess of fortune, who is there on the side of Pandavas, their victory and fortune are assured for Pandavas. And here he also mentions the chariot, which is given by fire god, and the horses, which were given by the Gandharvas. They all are showing the superior position of Pandavas. Like that. And then, very interestingly, hearing that Bhishma now blew the Shankha, the Pandavas also blow the Shankha. Usually the senior most blows the Shankha first. But guess who blows the Shankha first in the side of Pandavas? Who blows? Krishna. Because they consider Krishna as their leader. Though Drishtadyumna is there, though Yudhishthira is there, they all consider Krishna is there on our side. He is our leader. So it's first Krishna's Shankha which makes the sound. Panchajanyam Hrishikesho.
Panchajanyam Hrishikesho.
Devadattam Dhananjaya.
Devadattam Dhananjaya.
Poundram Dadmau Mahashankham.
Pondram Dadmau
Mahashankham.
Bhima Karma Vrikodara.
Bhima Karma Vrikodara.
So very interestingly, each of the Pandava have a Shankha which has a name. So personal is Vedic culture. Even Shankhas have the name. It's only foolishness to say that God is impersonal. Even Shankha have name. Then how could the source of all material and spiritual, who is the Supreme Lord, how could he be impersonal? So anyway, so Prabhupada lists all the names. In the shloka itself it's mentioned. So Dhananjaya means Arjuna. His Shankha's name is Devadatta. And Bhima is called as Vrikodara. He does very fierce activities, Bhima Karma, very great activities he does. And his Shankha is called Poundram. Poundra. So exactly so. Read the translation, Prabhu. Read
Lord
the
Krishna is referred as to Rishikesha.
translation.
Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean task, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondra.
If you carefully see, what's the word used for Krishna?
Rishikesha.
Rishikesha. So Prabhupada takes this as a very important word and he explains. So Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha. Why is that? Prabhuji, read it.
Lord Krishna referred to as Rishikesha in this verse because he is owner of all senses. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. The impersonalist cannot account for the senses of living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities as senseless, so impersonal. The Lord's situation in the hearts of all living entities directs their senses, but he directs in terms of surrender of living entity. And in the case of pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. Here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Rishikesha.
This is also another sign of victory. Prabhupada says. Actually, Rishikesha, as Prabhupada has explained, Rishika means senses. No? So everyone can control his senses to some extent at some times. Right now, I can control my hand. I tell, oh, I desire to raise my hand has raised. I desire to move my fingers move. I desire to turn my head turns. Right now, I can control my senses. But can I control my senses all the time? No. There will be a time when I will be practically having no ability to control the senses. The senses will not follow my desires. It happens sometimes within the life of a person. It happens by some disease, by old age. Person's hand senses are shaking. He's not able to focus, control his senses. But one person can always control the senses. In fact, he can control the senses of everyone at all times. That is Supreme Lord. And that is the meaning of the word Rishikesha. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Have you heard this? Hare Krishna. So what does this mean? Anyone can explain? What does it mean? It's a meaning of Bhakti actually. What is the meaning? Yeah.
It means we have to.
Yes.
It means we have to use our senses in the service of master of the senses.
Very good, very good. And that is called
Bhakti. That is called devotion.
Bhakti Ruchyate. So the shloka actually is coming in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I just told the last two lines. Sarvopadhive nirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. By the senses we serve Rishikesha, who is the master of senses. And that is called Bhakti Ruchyate. That is Bhakti. So Rishikesha, this very word indicates that, oh, he is the controller of everyone's senses. Especially he controls his devotees' senses. In case of others, he controls it through the system of karma or daiva, based on that person's karmic account or surrender. Surrender is very important consideration here. But in case of pure devotee who is surrendered, Lord actually directs the senses of that pure devotee. So Arjuna, who is so surrendered, do you expect that he will not be able to fight in the battle and win? Oh, he will surely win because Rishikesha is there. So there are many, many meanings for different names of Lord. Prabhupada lists, say, Madhusudana. It means he killed the demon Madhu. Govinda, because he pleases cows. Vasudeva, because he is the son of Vasudeva. Like that, Devaki Nandan, Yashoda Nandan, Parthasarathi, and similarly, Rishikesha. So the words used in Bhagavadgita to describe the Lord or Arjuna, Lord Krishna or Arjuna, they are not just unconsciously used. They have a lot of meaning, and that meaning is very much to encourage certain feelings. You will see that later. Krishna has addressed very specific words. Why that word is used? Because there is a meaning conveyed through that. So our acharyas explain that. So here Rishikesha is explained. That's also another sign of victory. Like that. So continuing ahead, Prabhupada also says Arjuna is called as Dhananjaya because he is a very great warrior who collected a lot of wealth for Rajasuya. And here another name which is used for is Vrikodara, which describes Bhima. So what does Vrikodara mean? Any of you? Check it. Vrikodara.
Who eats a lot?
Who eats a lot. Actually, Vrika means fox. Fox, yeah. Fox. And Udara means stomach, hunger. It's told that fox hunger it's practically always so much that he is never fulfilled in his hunger. He's always hunting. Who? Which animal?
Fox.
Fox. And Bhima's hunger was so much. It's told in the Aranyavasa. Mother Kunti tells to Draupadi, whatever you get, divide into two. First part you give to Bhima, and rest you divide among the other four or five, whoever. Because Bhima, he is Vrikodara. He needs more, and he does also more. He will do Bhima karma. So it's not about how much one eats, it's about how much one is utilizing his potential. One may eat a lot, but one may also do a lot of service. It's not just based on, oh, he is a better devotee because he eats less. That's not a higher consideration. What is the consideration? How much he is doing service? Is he putting his full potential to do service? That's the point. You may eat less just because you want to focus more on Krishna. Yeah, that's fine. Very good devotee. One may eat more. Oh, I just see he's eating more. That doesn't mean he's a less devotee. See his service. That is an important consideration. So we should not judge based on eating. So Bhima, though he's eating a lot, he is also doing Bhima karma. Especially this point comes in Mahabharata. One very interesting episode comes of Bakasura Vadha, wherein Bhima, he has carried a cart full of food for that Asura who is called Bakasura in that Ajnatavasa, not Ajnatavasa, in that Lakshagraha episode. They have escaped the burning of the lac house, Lakshagraha, and they are running, and there they come to one Brahmana's house, that village where that Asura is there. So Bhima is sent to provide food for that Asura. But Bhima, though he has come to give food, he himself starts to eat that. So he's so hungry. And then when Bakasura comes, hey, this is my food. This is the system followed in this village that they provide me food. How dare you eat my food? And he comes to attack. Then Bhima, he takes that Asura under his arm and in his left arm, and he continues eating. he has kept his Asura below his arm. He is continuing eating. So likewise, our very interesting meaning was given by a devotee. Sometimes while fighting in this world, especially against the illusions, Maya, one may fight, fine, no problem, but be always taking in, like Bhima was taking in. One should never forget to take the necessary devotional mercy, which one gains by sadhana, chanting, reading Bhagavad. So Bhima was doing it. He kept eating. When he was fully strong, then he punched, and then that Baka was killed. And in fact, the killing of Baka was such an important event that even Kauravas got to know that Bakasura was killed. It is known that he's so powerful that someone like Bhima only can kill. Seems like Bhima is around. They have not died. They started thinking in that, they had thought all Pandavas died, in that Lakshagraha along with their mother. So the point is, Bhima is called Vrikodara, and he does Bhima karma. That's the words which are used here. So his Shankha, what is the name of his Shankha?
Vrikodara.
What's the name of Poundra? Okay. So they are blowing their shankha, and there are few more Pandavas who blow shankha, and later the effect of hearing the shankha by all the people, especially the Kaurava side, is described in the further shlokas. So the next three shlokas are together. So repeat after me. Ananta Vijayam Raja
Ananta
Vijayam Raja
Kunti Putro Yudhishthira
Kunti
Yudhishthira
Nakula Sahadevascha
Sahadevascha
Sughosha Manipushpakau.
Goshamani Pushpakau.
So in this shloka, Yudhishthira, he blows shankha. His shankha is called Ananta Vijaya. And Nakula and Sahadeva, they blow their shankha, which is called Sughosha and Manipushpaka, respectively. And then there are few more, all the other warriors on Pandava side, they blow. In the Kaurava side, only Bhishma blew. Maybe some others might have blown. But there's a lot of description on Pandava side, they are blowing shankhas. Kashyascha Parameshwasa
Kashyascha Parameshwasa
Shikhandi cha Maharatha Shrishtadyumno Viratascha Satyakischa Parajita
Parajita
Drupado Draupadeyascha
Drupado Draupadi
Sarvasha Prithivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahu
Saubhadrascha
Sankhan Dadhu Pratak Pratak. So all others also are blowing the shankha. Read the translation, Prabhu. King
Yudhishthira, son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, and Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva blew Sughosha and Manipushpaka. The great archer of the king, Kasi, the great fighter, Shikhandi, Drishtadumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Drupadi, and others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells.
So Prabhupada mentions, actually there are so many signs which are indicating that the victory will be towards Pandavas and the Kauravas will all be killed. So Sanjaya is indirectly showing to Dhritarashtra what will be the future. So Bhishma started blowing, then up till even grandsons like Abhimanyu and others, they also blew the shankha. So it all happened, see Prabhupada says here. So he's explaining to, Sanjaya is explaining to Dhritarashtra, but he is indicating that all this, the future is that the Kauravas will be all destroyed and Pandavas will be victorious. You know why this is happening, Dhritarashtra? You are the cause. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons. Actually, it was his duty to correct his son, to cultivate good qualities in his son, and to correct him whenever he started doing wrong. But he did not fulfill his duties. In fact, he encouraged the policy. See, Prabhupada says here, encourage the policy of his sons. So further, the effect of such blowing of shankha on the warriors, especially on the Kauravas, what was it? It's explained in the next. Saghosho dhartarashtrānam
Saghosho dhartarashtrānam
Hridayani vyadarayat
Hridayani vyadarayat
Nabhascha prithivim chaiva Tumulobhyanunadayan. So when such a great sound, Ghosha, was made, especially the sons of Dhritarashtra, they are all Hridayani Vyadarayat. Can you see the meaning? Vyadarayat, what's the meaning? See the word meaning?
Atom.
Shattered. Their hearts were trembling in fear, shattered in fear. That fear, that sound itself made them very fearful. It filled the whole sky and the whole earth. Nabhascha, Prithivim Shaiva, Tumulo, Abhyananda, Nunadayan. It was so terrific. And especially Kauravas, the sons of Dhritarashtra, were fear struck. Read that translation, Prabhu. The blowing.
The blowing of these different conch shells become uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It is shattered that hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra.
So why only Dhritarashtra's sons became fearful? Why not Pandavas?
But they are blowing the conch shells.
Okay, they are blowing, because other side also people are blowing conch shells. Like
Because
Bhishma.
Duryodhana knows ki the Lord Krishna is other side and my victory is not confirmed.
Okay, very interesting.
Confidence.
Yes. Confidence. Yeah, that's confidence. Yeah. So Prabhupada mentions that word confidence. Very good. You noticed it.
Their side. That's why they have that confidence that they are going to win.
Yes. Very right, Mataji. Can you read this, Mataji? You told the very same thing which Prabhupada writes. Read the highlighted part. Please read the highlighted part, Mataji. The heart.
Okay. The hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas' party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity.
Prabhupada gives such a nice lesson. So one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, he has nothing to fear. Even if it is looking apparent defeat for him, he still is not fearful. He's ready to get defeated if it is what is the plan of God. But he will not be. So a devotee may feel defeated sometimes in his actions, but he is never discouraged. Very, very important. He is never discouraged, like Srila Prabhupada. We are all going to observe Srila Prabhupada's appearance very soon. In fact, I personally see Sri Krishna Janmashtami as an event which leads to Prabhupada Vyasa Puja. For followers of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja is very, very important. In fact, because of Prabhupada's appearance only, at least I can say for myself, I did not know much about Krishna. I had heard a little. My Janmashtamis were all, okay, you visit the temple sometime if you're interested, but hardly there was any feeling of devotion to Krishna. Oh, who is Krishna? I don't know. I only saw him as some character in some serials, Mahabharata. That very, very intelligent person like that. But because of Prabhupada, we are all able to appreciate the supremacy of Krishna, the supremacy, the glory of the path of devotion to Sri Krishna. And we have developed some desire to take to that path. Is it not? And we can see in the life of such great devotee Srila Prabhupada, he many times faced defeats. Before going to West and establishing, ISKCON and all, his life was full of defeat only, is it not? He tried, but anything succeeded? Any of you can give any example of some efforts which Prabhupada put when he was in India, which failed? Any of you know? I'm sorry, I'm taking a different topic here, but just to...
Prabhuji, once again, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, say it.
Can you repeat the question, Prabhuji?
My question is, can any of you recollect efforts of Srila Prabhupada before going to West? He tried to preach. He only faced defeats. His efforts did not succeed.
He couldn't print the book, Prabhuji. That Bhagavadgita he couldn't print. He took his handwritten copy.
Yeah. He could not print. Yeah. He was hardly having any money to print. He was writing on what not. Every paper he used to save and write behind. There is a very famous memory of a very senior Srila Prabhupada disciple, Hayagriva Prabhu, who was given very initially to edit the manuscripts. And he saw in practically every kind of paper Prabhupada had written, backside, in small side, he had written just to save some space for writing more. He in fact would sacrifice his eating for getting paper. And like that it was. But was he successful? He was not getting any good supporters for his publishing, as Mataji rightly pointed out. Any other effort, Prabhupada got defeated, but he was not discouraged. That's the point I'm trying to highlight here. Any other effort?
He didn't have money to buy the ticket also, Prabhuji.
He did not have money to buy the ticket. Very right. He did not have any patrons or supporters. Any others? Any other effort? Prabhupada also establishes some organization, no? When he was in India. Any of you know?
League of Devotees in Jhansi.
Yeah, League of Devotees.
Of devotees in Jhansi. In Jhansi, he establishes, and later that same League of Devotees, someone who initially was helping him, later he becomes she becomes the reason for, the failure, that whole Radha Memorial in Jhansi, which was the center of League of Devotees, that building is taken away by some politician. And he finds very sad actually, but he continues preaching, was not discouraged. Any other effort? If you remember, there are many efforts. Actually, if you read Srila Prabhupada's life, you will find it. This principle comes very nice.
He printed the magazine, Back to Godhead.
He printed, but I'm asking, what was the question I asked? Any of you please repeat? I'm not asking what he did before going. I'm asking a very specific question. What is the question?
What difficulty he faced when he going to West in India?
What are those efforts in which Prabhupada faced defeat and yet was not discouraged before going to West? That's what
he got heart attack, Prabhuji, while he is going. He got 3 times heart attack in the ship.
That also, yes, his health, that showed, his body was not cooperating, but still he was not discouraged. Like that. Yeah.
And
so
at that
there were.
He prayed to Krishna. You gave such a nice name. You have to take care of this journey. You have to send me. You have to guide me. In that way, he prayed when his health was weak.
Very nice. In fact, he had written letters to even Gaudiya Matha devotees, leaders. They also did not help. It was a very special arrangement by Lord that the whole credit he wanted to give to Prabhupada. So we can see that Prabhupada was so much put into test. There was every reason for him to become fearful, become discouraged, complain. But what did he do? He did not fear. He continued doing. True to his name, Abhaya Charan, he was not fearful because he had taken the shelter of Supreme Lord. So that principle Prabhupada is writing here. One who takes shelter of Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of greatest calamity. The calamity is going to defeat the person, yet he doesn't fear. Oh, Lord Krishna is there. My relationship with Krishna is eternal. No matter what happens in this temporary time and place, it doesn't really matter because it's just a passing phase. But my relationship with Krishna, my ability to worship Krishna, remember Krishna, that is always there. Krishna is always there for me. That relationship can never be destroyed. Material relationships, they end with time. But a relationship with Krishna doesn't end with time. This confidence is what gives a devotee sometimes even take greatest risks for serving Krishna, like Prabhupada took. Prabhupada at such a late age, he goes to such a foreign place. He doesn't know anyone there practically. Yet he takes that greatest risk. Why? Because he knows Supreme Lord, he is there everywhere. He will protect me. He will always be there for me. If it is his desire, it will succeed. But my effort should be to serve him, to serve his dear devotee, my Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta. So like this principle Prabhupada gives in his purports, we should always catch these principles in his purport. That's why it's very important to read Bhagavad Gita with the purports. These purports, they really give us the necessary instructions and inspirations for practicing devotions. Okay, so at this point, the signs of victory, there is one more shloka which completes that section. There is one last sign of victory which Sanjaya describes. Atha vyavasthitan drishtva.
Atha vyavasthitan drishtva.
Dhartarashtraन् kapidvaja.
Rashtraन् kapidvaja.
Pravritte shastra sampate.
Pravritte shastra sampate.
Dhanur udyamya pandava.
Dhanur udyaya pandava.
Rishikesham tada vakyam.
Rishikesham tada vakyam.
Idamahamahi
Mahipate.
So in this shloka, we can see there is a word called Kapitvaja. This word is told for Arjuna. He, in whose flag there is a Kapi. That Kapi is Hanuman. Each of the warrior has his insignia or his symbol on the flag by which you can recognize, oh, this chariot is this warrior's. Like that. So what is the symbol on Arjuna's chariot? Arjuna's flag? Hanuman. And Hanuman is very, very significant. So Prabhupada explains. Read the translation, anyone?
Got boon, Prabhuji. Arjuna got boon. That boon.
Yeah. Read the translation, Mataji, at that time.
Okay. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot, bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Hare Krishna.
So Prabhupada especially highlights the emblem of Hanuman. Read this highlighted part, the emblem.
Okay. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Rama in the battle between Rama and Ravana, and Lord Rama emerged victorious. Now both Rama and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjuna to help him.
So Hanuman, very, very instrumental in the battle of Ramayana. So he is there on the Dhwaja of Arjuna. In fact, it is told that he gave loud war cries, which actually shattered the hearts. It decreased the inspiration or courage of the opponents by practically to zero. Just by hearing his war cries, just by hearing that war cries, people, especially Kaurava army, were fearful. They were running in fear. So there was Bhima who was giving loud war cries, and Hanuman who was on the emblem. He was giving loud war cries. So Hanuman, though he is actively not participating, but he's giving loud war cries. The same Lord Rama is now here, Krishna. So Hanuman is there on the side of Arjuna. Lord Rama, that is Krishna, he is there here. So what is there which is lacking in the side of Arjuna to not give victory? So Prabhupada says, in such auspicious conditions arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotee lay the signs of assured victory. Very, very interesting. So far we saw so many signs of victory. Devotees, can you please recollect what all signs did we see? Very important, because I'm taking time because this is one of your questions. Have you noticed it? This is one of your questions for exam. So usually for your exam, whenever something is there, I do give time. Please mark it. If I am revising again and again, that means it's important. And Prabhupada also has given good purports here, is it not? That's why we should try to remember those lessons. So please list some of the signs of victory which we saw so far. And each one can say one, and let everyone get an opportunity.
Prabhuji, first one is the conch, which is symbol of the Lord Vishnu.
So Bhishma blew Shankha. That Shankha is symbol of Vishnu. That's one.
Bhishma.
Yes.
And when the wise Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else would like to list?
White horses
Prabhuji.
given by
White
Gandharva.
horses by Gandharva. Very special horses. Then
A place in
Madhava
Dharma
was
Kshetra, Prabhu.
Dharma Kshetra itself is then came in the very first shloka. Very good. Very good
Krishna
point
is
here.
their side, Prabhuji. Lord Krishna is their side.
Lord Krishna Madhava, that's the word used, Madhava. Then what else?
Chariot
Chariot. Yes, the chariot was specially given
by Agni Dev.
Agni Deva. 5 happened. Then
The
Flag.
Divya Shankha.
the blowing of the Shankas, it shattered the heart of Kauravas. That is also a sign of victory. It's a Divya Shankha. That word is used. Divya Shankha. That's also. Then 6 happened. Then
Kapidwaja.
Rishikesha.
Rishikesha. Very good. That word Rishikesha came. It showed that Krishna is directing the senses.
Yeah, he's controlling the senses and directing also.
Like this, you can see many all these signs of victory. So mark them. Very important. It may come. That's why I'm just listening. So the further description in this chapter is about the third part, which actually introduces, in fact, very nicely the character of Krishna. Now onwards comes our main personality of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna. And how is he introduced? As Bhaktavatsala. Krishna is riding the chariot of Arjuna. So this is the third section of this chapter. Let us read that from the shlokas. Okay. So the shloka 21. 21? Right? 21, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Tenayor Ubhayor Madhye. Ratham Sthapayamechyuta.
Ratham Sthapayamechyuta.
Yavadetan Niriksheham.
Yavadetan Niriksheham.
Yodhu Kaman Avasthitan.
Yodhu Kaman Avasthitan.
Kairmaya Saha Yodhavyam.
Kairmaya saha yodhavyam.
Asmin Ranasamudyame.
Asmin Ranasamudyame.
So the shloka Sanjaya says, Arjuna now starts speaking. Very interestingly, suddenly, Arjuna is speaking now. What does he say? Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Ratham Sthapaya He Achyuta. Krishna is addressed as Achyuta. Very important. Why Achyuta? Prabhupada will explain. As I told, every word used has a meaning. It's not just used unconscious. So this meaning is very relevant for that context of conversation. So Senayor Ubhayor. So between both the armies, place my chariot. Hey Achyuta. Why Achyuta? Achyuta. Achyuta, very meaning of the word Achyuta, Prabhupada describes in the purport. You see. Please read this highlighted part. He never
fails in his affection for his devotees, and thus he is addressed herein as infallible.
Infallible. Achyuta means to fall or even to fail. So sometimes Chuti, Chuti means like a black mark, is it? Chuti ho gaya hamara. So Chuta means to fall or to fail. Achyuta means who doesn't fall, who doesn't fail in his promises or in his actions. You will never say, oh, something happened out of my control. That will never happen in case of Krishna. Krishna is fully in control of the things. His assurances, he will always be affectionate to his devotees. So here, what is it that he never fails to do or show? That is affection for his devotees. So in this shloka, you can see that Achyuta, Supreme Lord, is taking the role of Sarathi. Arjuna is ordering Krishna, Achyuta, place my chariot, Ratham Sthapaya, between the two senas. Why he wants to see? Very interesting. Yavadetan Niriksheham. There are specific reasons for which he wants to see. He wants to see. What does he want to see? Yodhu Kaman Avasthitan. I want to see all those who have come here to fight, who are desiring to fight against me, fight against Yudhishthira, such a dharmishtha. I want to see, is it that Arjuna doesn't know who is all on the side of Kauravas? Do you think so? Is he unaware? Some new person has come suddenly, some some night batsman or something, they call surprise person. Is it like that?
No.
He knows Prabhuji, but he want to see as he has a relatives and he is feeling little discomfort.
That surely will come, but at this moment it has not yet happened. He wants to see. Actually, there is a great feeling here actually coming. No? So actually none of the Pandavas desired this battle. No? There was all effort made to stop the battle. Even Bhima also says it. Hey Krishna, you're going for Shanti Sandhana. Somehow try to make a truce and not make this war happen. Why among us we have to fight? It will be such a destruction. Even Bhima also, it's told in Mahabharata. At the same time, when war becomes inevitable, Yudhishthira is hell-bent, as we say, then Arjuna really wants to see who is so much wanting to fight. I really want to understand. See, that's a feeling of heart, which is Yodhu Kaman, Kairmaya Saha Yodhavyam, who all have come to help him in this Rana Samudyama, like that. Can someone else take up the reading of translation? Arjuna said, please read.
Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms.
So the word meaning Achyuta is to be very importantly noted. Our acharyas have given this meaning that Achyuta means one who never fails in showing his affection for his devotees. Very, very important. He's always Bhaktavatsala. That's the prime way in which Krishna is described by Gita and even by Bhagavad. He's Bhaktavatsala. Yes, he's the supreme controller, supreme proprietor. That's surely there. But how our Bhakti Shastras describe is he has taken up that position of serving the devotee. But don't think that he is now fallen from his supreme position. No, he is always eager. He is always supreme Lord. Even when he has taken the role of Sarathi, doesn't mean that he has forgotten, he has left his godly nature. No. So Prabhupada says, the devotee, the servitor is always ready to serve the Lord. And similarly, the Lord is also seeking opportunity to serve devotee. Like this, there is an exchange always happening between the Lord and devotee. This is very, very dynamic, Bhakti. This is what Bhakti is actually. So Arjuna, he wants to see who all are those who have come on this battlefield to fight. When there was so much effort done for peacemaking, yet it did not happen. And who all are they who are bent upon fighting? He wants to see. Very importantly, our acharyas go on to explain, after this shloka, you will see some change in Arjuna's mind. So he is now desiring to fight with the spirit of, I want to see who all are they who have come to fight against Dharma, against Dharmaraja Yudhishthira. This is what his spirit. But slowly his mind will change. His emotions will change. Why that happens? Because he desired to see. In this world, illusion primarily enters through seeing. This is how acharyas explain. He wants to see. What is there to see? Everything is decided. Krishna actually smiles after this. Arjuna, do you want to see? Okay. You know where I'm going to place the chariot? Come on. Now he will see. Krishna is going to place the chariot right in front of the most important people for Arjuna on the other side. Who are they?
Bhishma
and Drona. Yeah. So that's the shloka which comes. Actually, it comes in further one. Anyway, 23 we will take. Yotyamanam aveksheham.
Samanam aveksheham.
Ya etetra samagata. Dhartarashtrasya durbuddher.
Dhartarat Durbuddhe
युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षव
Yachikeshava.
Can I take another 5-10 minutes? I just will complete this section before the festival, because again, if we stop in the middle, it may be difficult to revise.
Yes,
Is that
Prabhuji.
okay?
Yes,
So he's saying here, Yotsamanam, the desire to fight, who all have come aveksheham, I want to see. Who all have gathered here, Samagatha, especially to favor this Dhartarashtra, his Durbuddhi, this Duryodhana, who is evil-minded, to favor him, to support him. Who all have come? I want to see. This is what Arjuna says. Please read it, Prabhu. So, let me see. Yeah. Please read the translation.
Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra.
So Prabhupada says, Duryodhana, it was everyone was knowing that Duryodhana is doing all evil plots, unethical, all ways he was employing to kill Pandavas and take up the whole property, the kingdom. And they knew it. So Arjuna, actually they were ready to tolerate all that, provided he was at least able to cooperate. Give little villages. Krishna in fact proposes, just give 5 villages to Pandavas. You can keep the whole kingdom. They were ready to negotiate to that extent, but yet Dhritarashtra's Durbuddhi was so great. So Arjuna wants to see who all they are, who have come to fight on the side of Kauravas. So he was not willing now to do peace. That was very clear. Now they have come to battlefield, they have to fight. But he wants to know, he wants to have that feeling is there in the heart. Oh, we tried, yet it did not happen. Who all have come on this side of the Rashtra's sons? And he wants to also estimate the strength which he has to face. See, we should know here, Arjuna has already defeated Kauravas in full strength earlier. Single-handedly he defeated. You know when? Any of you know?
Virataparva.
Virataparva, yeah. He did it so effortlessly. He did it. That time Bhishma, Drona, even Karna was there. Here Karna is not there. Many were there. He easily defeated them. It is not that Arjuna is less capable, or like that. No, it's not that. He knows. But yet that feeling is there. We try to avoid this war, but because of the Durbuddhi of Duryodhana, it is happening. And who all are those who are favoring him? That means they are also equally evil. That is the feeling which is coming here. So now Sanjaya says, after hearing these words from Arjuna, Krishna, who is Rishikesha, does something. Sanjaya uvacha evamukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Thapayitva Rathottamam. After Gudakesha told, Gudakesha is the word used for Arjuna. The word Gudaka means sleep or ignorance. Gudakesha means one who has controlled the sleep or ignorance. He is Gudakesha. This word comes again in Gita multiple times. Arjuna is addressed like that. And Krishna is addressed as Rishikesha. So after hearing the words of Gudakesha, that is Arjuna, Rishikesha, he placed the Ratha between the armies. Read the translation, Prabhu.
Sanjaya said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties.
So Sanjaya is saying that Krishna followed the orders of his devotee. Though he is Supreme Lord, he follows. So Prabhupada gives the meaning of Gudakesha. Read this first few lines in this verse.
In this verse, Arjuna is referred to as Gudakesha. Gudaka means sleep, and one who conquers sleep is called Gudakesha. Sleep also means ignorance. Arjuna conquered both sleep and ignorance because of his friendship with Krishna. As a great devotee of Krishna, he could not forget Krishna even for a moment because that is the nature of a devotee. Whether in walking or sleep, or a devotee of the Lord can never be free from the thinking of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes.
We'll pause here. So, what is Prabhupada highlighting here? Gudakesha, in just literal sense, it means one who doesn't sleep, one who has fully controlled his sleep. Like in Ramayana, also there is a character who fully controls sleep. Any of you know?
Lakshmana.
Lakshmana. Very same quality. He also had conquered sleep and ignorance. Actually, how this comes, because when one has that intimate relationship with the Lord, and especially with the service of the Lord, here Arjuna is described as someone who never forgets Krishna even for a moment. Usually we forget Krishna because of sleep. Sometimes while japa, it happens with me. We doze and we don't chant. Is it not? Or sometimes when we are awake, we are not remembering Krishna. You know why? Why? Because of ignorance. It's called avidya. So either in sleep or in avidya. These are the two reasons for we forgetting Krishna. But Arjuna has conquered both of them. He is remembering Krishna always. Prabhupada says in waking or in sleep, he is always remembering Krishna. Like Bharata, he also was such a great personality. Like Lakshmana in Ramayana, he also is such a great personality. So like this, a devotee is truly above avidya or ignorance. Arjuna is addressed as the Gudakesha. So Krishna especially places the Ratha in front of these two personalities. Bhishma Drona Pramukhata.
Bhishma Drona
Pramukhata.
Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam.
Sarvesham Mahikshitam.
Vacha Partha Pashyaitan.
Vacha Partha Pashyaitam.
Samavetan Kurun iti.
Samavetan Kuruniti.
So Krishna especially places, oh Krishna, Arjuna, see now, Pashya, what Pashya? See all those people who are in front of you, who are standing against you, you all Pandavas, especially Pramukha, Bhishma, Drona. He places the chariot in front. See, actually when Krishna is saying this, he's smiling. Our acharyas explain. You know why? He knows what's going to happen. He is going to put Arjuna into what is called as moha or illusion. This is an arrangement of the Lord. Just like Krishna had put that great devotee Parikshita for momentarily in illusion to give Srimad Bhagavatam to the world. Similarly, here Arjuna is put. The grandfather was put Arjuna, and similarly grandson. Who was grandson? Arjuna's grandson.
Parikshit.
Both are very great devotees, and Krishna, they apparently seem to fall into illusion, but that's arrangement inspired by Lord. That's Yoga Maya. But there are a lot of lessons to learn. See, especially the Leelas of the Lord, and especially Bhagavadgita, we can understand at two levels, at least at two levels. There are many levels, two levels. One is to see everything is arranged by the Lord. It is inspired by the Lord. It's happening under the perfect arrangement of the Lord, called as Yoga Maya. Yes, that is correct. At the same time, we sadhakas have also another level with which we can relate. We can take some lessons for our personal devotional practice. So there are reasons for which Arjuna takes that role of conditioned soul and he falls into illusion. That is something we should notice. Here, if we see carefully, there was no reason for Arjuna to go and see and fall into illusion. He is acting on his own. He wants to see. As I was telling, in this world, primarily illusion enters through vision. One falls into illusion because of vision. One sees something and he becomes affected. Oh, fear, oh, attraction, allurement, so many things happen because of we see. And when we see this world, it becomes very promising for material happiness. Oh yeah, this happiness is so immediate. Krishna is far, he is remote. It's told that Krishna enters through ears. Maya enters through eyes. So one should be very careful about one's ears and eyes. One should lend his eyes and ears to Krishna. See, it doesn't mean that devotee cannot access Krishna by other senses. He can see the darshan of the Lord. He can see the darshan of devotees. And he can surely be reminded of Krishna in that sense. But in general, this is another explanation. One should be very, very careful on especially taking up such desires on his own. This is also related to pratyaksha and anuman praman, which is related with direct senses. Not just eyes, ears, not everything. If when they act independent of shastras or authorities or law, which is shabda praman, then it can make us fall into what? It can make us fall into
Maya.
Maya or moha, especially. That's the word used. Arjuna becomes sammohita here in that illusion. So this is a lesson for us that viriksheham, that word is explained by acharyas like this. So Arjuna is going to fall into illusion. That's Krishna's plan. And at this first level, it's Krishna's plan. And Krishna is smiling. At the level of conditioned soul, he's saying, Arjuna, you are taking this role of conditioned soul. And he's smiling. What is there for you to see, oh Arjuna? You have to just follow. You have to just fight. Okay, you are going. I know what's going to happen. And he smiles. And he is showing who are all there. Read this, Prabhu, in the presence.
In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here.
So just behold everything. Prabhupada also says here the word Rishikesha, it means that Krishna knew everything, who all are there and what's going on in the mind of Arjuna. What's going to come in the mind of Arjuna. In fact, Arjuna himself may not be aware, but Krishna knew. You are the son of my aunt, and how are you going to fall into this? This is not your nature. But yet, he is also wanting that because through him, Bhagavadgita will be presented to the world. Just behold the Kurus, especially Bhishma and Drona, those affectionate people, they are standing against you. And then he describes Tatra Pashyat Sthitan Partha.
Tatra Pashyat
Pitran Atha Pitamahan.
Pitamahan.
Acharyan Matulan Bhratran.
Acharyan Matulan Bhratran.
Putran Pautran Sakhims Tatha.
Putran
Pautran Sakhims Tatha.
Vasuran Suhrudaschaiva.
Suhrudaschaiva.
Tenayor Ubhayorapi. It is a gathering. It's a gathering of generations of people in a family. There is great grandfather. There is father-like people. There are people who are like his father-in-laws, who are his uncles. There are people who are his equals, like brothers. There are people who are like his sons, nephews. So it's like more than 5 generations of people are there. Usually people in the family, when they gather, it's such a joy, right? Especially in festivals, all family people join and they gather. It's such a joy. But here, is it joy? Because they are standing to fight with each other. And this is what moves Arjuna the most. Please read, Prabhu. There Arjuna could see.
There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties, his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers.
So Prabhupada lists all those people. Read the purport on the battlefield.
On the battlefield, Arjuna could see all kinds of relatives. He could see persons like Bahurish Rava, who were his father's contemporaries, grandfathers Bhishma and Somadatta, teachers like Dronacharya and Kripacharya, maternal uncles like Shalya and Sakuni, brothers like Duryodhana, sons like Lakshmana, friends like Ashwathama, well-wishers like Kritavarma, etc. He could see also the armies which contained many of his friends.
Many of his friends. But they are all have gathered to fight each other, kill each other. And this is what is the turning point in Arjuna's mind. Oh, all my worshipable people, my dear people are here, and I have to fight against them and kill them. That's what he's seeing. And seeing this, he becomes afflicted by compassion, Kripaya. And today we'll see, this is the last shloka for today. Tan samikshya sa kaunteya.
Tan
samikshya sa kaunteya.
Sarvan bandhun avasthitan.
Sarvan bandhun avasthitan.
Kripaya paraya vishto.
Kripaya paraya vishto.
Vishidan idam abravit.
Idam abravit.
Kaunteya, that is Arjuna, he saw Samiksha, he saw all of this. Sarvan Bandhun, all the family members are there, standing in both sides, Kaurava side, Pandava side, both. And they all are going to be killed. And Paraya Vishto Kripaya, his heart became afflicted, overwhelmed by compassion. And then he became very sad. Vishidan. Vishidan, what's the meaning? What's the word to word meaning? Vishidan. See it?
While lamenting.
Lamenting. Shoka. Arjuna is now, this chapter is called as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. He's going to Vishada, Vishidan, Idam Abravit. In that sad state, he spoke. He's going to speak something. Read the translation, Prabhu. When
the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus.
So, Prabhupada says that here, actually, from here, we can see the turning point in the conversation. So, so far we saw the introduction of the character Krishna. How is he introduced? What's the words used?
Tavatsala.
The words like Achyuta, Madhava, Shikesha, those are the words which are used. So the character of Krishna is explained, and slowly we can also see how Arjuna is asking Krishna to follow something. He gives an order which Krishna follows. He never fails in his affection to devotees. And then Arjuna wants to see the opposite armies, and that turns his heart. He becomes afflicted by compassion. So in today's discussion, we completed actually the first 3 sections. We saw the preparations for war, in which Duryodhana speaks who all are there in his side, other side, he compares. And then we saw many signs of victory. Any of you remember how many were there? Just a number of it.
7, Prabhuji.
7, 8. Okay. Okay. At least 5, 6 you should remember. So there are so many signs of victory we saw. And then after this, Arjuna, he orders Krishna. In fact, he asks Krishna to place the chariot, in the middle of the army. He wants to see who all are there in the opposite side, especially because after so much efforts for peacemaking, yet still this war could not be stopped. And this evil-minded Duryodhana, who have come to support him, he wants to see. But his heart becomes afflicted by compassion. Why it happens? Any of you remember why it happens like that? Why does that happen? Arjuna, why his heart becomes compassionate suddenly?
By seeing the gurus, friends,
On his
side,
family. Yeah.
who taught him, and someone gave the guidance, and my friends, by seeing everyone, he
become overwhelmed. We also discussed about this effort, this action of a jiva, which makes him fall into illusion. You remember that? Something. Any of you recollect something? They're very important to remember.
Yoga
just,
Maya.
just as Maya.
Yoga Maya. Because of
Yeah, Yoga Maya. Of course, this Leela can be seen at Yoga Maya level and also for sadhana. That's also another. So, especially, I was telling about how the efforts to understand this world on one's own, Pratyaksha and Anuman Praman, especially the senses, they can drive one to illusion. So one should always be protected by Lord Krishna's words, which one takes by hearing Shabda Praman. That's also another important lesson. Thank you very much. I took a little extra time today. I'm sorry. I just wanted to complete the session. So wish you all happy Shri Krishna Janmashtami and Srila Prabhupada's Avirbhava, this Jayanti. My best wishes to all of you to celebrate this festival in great consciousness of Krishna. I am very sure all of you are already engaged in so many festivals and so many communities, around 17 I heard. So my best wishes so that all of your efforts of service, they are pleasing to Prabhupada. And we will meet, we will not have class on this Friday, surely. You all celebrate the festival, I do want to. And we will meet next. Okay, next Monday will be our session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Shri Prabhupada
Thank you,
ki jai.
Prabhuji. Jai.